Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, you check your bank account, $10,000. Looks normal. You check again the next day, still $10,000. And the next day, still $10,000. Nothing changed. But somehow, you can buy less. Less groceries, less gas, less rent, less everything. It's as if a tiny monster sneaks into your wallet every night and takes a little bite out of your money. Not enough for you to notice immediately, just enough to slowly make you poorer. Meet the inflation monster. And trust me, this little guy is hungry. Most people think inflation simply means higher prices. And technically, that's true. But that's not the real story. The real story is that inflation is the process of your money becoming less valuable over time. The dollars in your bank account don't disappear. The number stays the same. But what those dollars can buy shrinks. That's why inflation is often called a hidden tax. Because unlike normal taxes, nobody sends you a bill. Nobody asks permission. The inflation monster just starts eating. And most people don't even notice. Let's make this simple. Imagine it's 2015. You walk into a coffee shop. A coffee costs $3. Life is good. Now, fast forward 10 years. Same coffee, same cup, same caffeine addiction. Now it costs $5. What changed? Did the coffee become magical? Did the cup get made by NASA? No. Your money lost purchasing power. That's inflation. Prices rise, money buys less. The inflation monster got a little bigger.
Why does inflation happen?
Excellent question. There isn't just one reason. Usually it's a combination of several things. Reason 1, more money. Imagine a small island, 100 people, 100 apples. Everybody has $1. Easy. Now imagine everyone suddenly gets $10. Did the number of apples increase? No, still 100 apples. But now everyone has more money, competing for the same apples. Result? Apple prices rise. More money chasing the same goods. This is one of the most common causes of inflation. The inflation monster loves money printers. If printing money created wealth, every college student with a printer would be a billionaire. Unfortunately, economics refuses to cooperate. Reason 2, supply problems. Imagine there are normally 100 cars available. Suddenly factories shut down. Now there are only 50 cars. People still want cars. Demand stays high. A supply drops, prices increase. Again, the inflation monster smiles. Reason 3, rising costs. If energy becomes expensive, transportation becomes expensive. If transportation becomes expensive, everything becomes expensive. Because almost everything has to be moved somewhere. That's why inflation can spread throughout the entire economy.
Is all inflation bad?
Surprisingly, no. A small amount of inflation is actually normal. The US Federal Reserve generally targets around 2% inflation. Why? Because a healthy economy needs some spending. If prices slowly rise over time, people are encouraged to invest and spend rather than hoard cash forever. Think of inflation like hot sauce. A tiny amount adds flavor. Too much, you regret every decision that led you here. That's basically inflation. Let's see what inflation actually does. Suppose inflation averages 2.5% per year. You put $10,000 under your mattress. No investing, no interest, nothing. 10 years pass. Your account still says $10,000. Looks great. Except it isn't. Because after 10 years of 2.5% inflation, your purchasing power is only about $7,800 worth of today's dollars. The inflation monster quietly ate more than $2,000 of your buying power. And you didn't even notice. That's the scary part. Inflation doesn't feel dramatic. It feels invisible. Until one day you wonder why everything feels expensive.
Why the rich and the poor experience inflation differently.
Now here's where things get really interesting. Inflation doesn't affect everyone equally. In fact, the inflation monster has favorite victims. And unfortunately, they're usually the people least able to fight back. Imagine two people. Let's call them Mike and Sarah. Mike keeps most of his money in cash, checking account, savings account, maybe some cash sitting around. Sarah does something different. She owns assets, stocks, real estate, businesses. Now inflation starts rising. Who gets hurt more? Mike, every single time. Because cash is inflation's favorite meal. The dollars sitting in Mike's account become less valuable every year. Meanwhile, Sarah owns things that can increase in value. The companies she owns can raise the prices. The properties she owns can charge higher rents. The assets she owns often grow along with inflation. The inflation monster attacks both of them. But Sarah has armor. Mike doesn't. Now, before anyone says, so all I need is to buy assets and become rich? Not exactly. Assets can go down, real estate can fall, stocks can crash. Nothing is guaranteed. But historically, productive assets have generally done a much better job keeping up with inflation than cash. That's the key idea. Here's a belief many people grow up with. Save money and you'll be safe. And saving money is important. You absolutely need emergency savings. You absolutely need financial discipline. But here's the problem. Saving alone is not enough. Imagine you're trying to fill a bathtub. You're pouring water in. That's saving. But inflation has quietly pulled the drain plug. Water keeps leaking out. If your money isn't growing faster than inflation, you're running in place. Sometimes you're actually moving backwards. That's why wealthy people don't stop at saving. They invest. Now let's talk about something the inflation monster absolutely hates. Compound growth. Imagine you invest $10,000 and it grows at 8% annually. Not every year, not perfectly. Just as an example, after 1 year, $10,800. After 2 years, $11,664. Then something magical happens. You're no longer earning returns only on your original money. You're earning returns on previous returns. It's like hiring employees who hire employees who hire employees. Eventually, the growth starts looking ridiculous. This is why Warren Buffett became massively wealthy. Not because he found some secret stock, not because he was lucky, but because he allowed compound growth to work for decades. Most people want Buffett's wealth. Very few people want Buffett's waiting time. Everybody wants the oak tree. Nobody wants to plant the acorn. Okay? Enough bad news. Let's talk solutions. How do we actually defend ourselves? Rule 1, increase your earning power. The best investment is often yourself. New skills, better education, higher value work. If your income grows faster than inflation, you're already winning. Rule 2, don't keep all your wealth in cash. Emergency fund? Absolutely. Money for next month's bills? Of course. But long-term wealth, historically, cash alone has been a losing strategy. Rule 3, own productive assets. Stocks, businesses, real estate. Assets that create value. Because inflation tends to punish money sitting still and reward money that's working. Rule 4, think long-term. The inflation monster is patient. You need to be patient too. Most people focus on next week. Wealthy investors focus on the next decade. Rule 5, don't panic during downturns. Remember our psychology video? Fear, herd mentality, recency bias, overconfidence. All those enemies return when markets become volatile. The inflation monster isn't the only monster out there. Your own brain can be one too. So what have we learned? Inflation isn't just higher prices. It's a slow transfer of purchasing power, a silent force that quietly makes your money less valuable over time. The scary thing isn't that inflation exists. The scary thing is that most people ignore it. They work harder, save more, do everything right, and still wonder why they never seem to get ahead. Because they never noticed the monster sitting in the corner, taking tiny bites every single day. The good news? Now you can see it. And once you can see it, you can fight it. You don't have to beat inflation overnight. You don't need a secret strategy. You don't need to predict the market. You simply need to understand one thing. If your money isn't growing, it's shrinking. Maybe slowly, maybe invisibly, but shrinking nonetheless. And that's exactly what the inflation monster wants. Don't feed the monster. Make your money work harder than the monster can eat. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button and subscribe. And tell me in the comments, what's something that feels shockingly expensive today compared to 10 years ago? I'll start. Have you seen the price of a decent burger lately? The inflation monster definitely has. See you in the next video. I'm Sully. Thanks for watching. If you found this valuable, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe.